If you don't remember anything else but this, just remember that my foundational philosophy is personal shared experiences and self-reflection are the recipe for empathy. And we could all use a little bit more empathy. If you are blessed because your money's good and you have a stable situation and you actually have an hour or two a day to explore different interests, there's nothing wrong that you could do as long as you're doing something, as long as you're learning a skill, as long as you're trying to get better and improve. It may feel futile while you're doing it, and I know I feel that quite often, but just know that you should pursue it to the fullest. You should try to engage with your interests and just feel overwhelmingly happy that you even have the opportunity to do that. But there's another part of me that really is looking for genuine development and genuine understanding, and is looking to ascend to sort of a higher level of knowledge and competency. And really, I have used this project as a way to work out some of my character flaws, right? Not being self-disciplined, not sticking to something through to the end, not developing skills and working on the fine details. So this project has allowed me to work on that without the need to make money. And I will continue to reiterate that. And I say that to you, and I say that to myself to remind myself, right, that I'm not ready to throw in the towel on this yet. If you're just starting out on a project, gather a lot of information, stick with your emotions and what compels you, and just keep working on it every day. Why is it that the first 10 people that follow you on any new social media channel are always like graphic artists, these random graphic artists? Like, I'm not dogging, but like it feels like graphic artists are starving right now. And it's very important that you can ride that wave, right? Like when you get those views and you see that you're doing well, don't get attached to them, but you can use them to kind of help propel you forward when you have this idea that's in this infancy and it's in this sort of place where it's really fragile and vulnerable, where if someone kind of comes along and says something really negative to you, it could kind of crush the whole project at that vulnerable stage. So use those numbers, check out your analytics, see that you're doing well on socials, and then keep pushing forward. Gaming in general as a medium, if used properly, really does a great job at allowing for the sacrifice of a little bit of time in exchange for the ability to explore and take risks and develop competency slowly over time. And I think that that's really a good thing. I think that there's always going to be a piece of the content that is performative by nature. And it becomes a really difficult line to kind of sort of straddle when you're making things for the public, but you're also trying to stay true to who you are. For me, I'll look at the numbers and I'll say, oh, that video did really well. I should do more of that type of content. And then what ends up happening over the course of time is you see a model of what people are organically interested in. And then you end up, or at least I feel like sometimes I end up chasing those trends. But it's very important to remember that gaming was not always as accepted and as mainstream as it is today. In the very beginning, gaming was something that a small group of friends did. I was one of those people who have always gamed and kind of retreated into games and enjoyed the mythology and the stories of games because money skews things. I really was faced with a choice a couple months ago, and my choice was essentially to work on this thing for fun that I enjoyed or that I found some sort of intrinsic value in, or I could work on this business. I didn't have time for both, and one of them was a video editing business and one was this video game channel. But the pressure to make money is not really there for me, and so I don't really need to do it, and I chose to do the thing that was fun. I don't know if you feel this way, but have you ever been working on something and you've been trying to figure out what it's supposed to be, and it's not exactly the way you want, and you're not sure how to go forward? That's often how I feel about gaming. Right, I often feel like, hey, I can't share things about the games that I'm playing with my friends because they're not playing those games, which is a huge part of the creation of this channel. I actually really dislike social media. 7-8 years ago when I started uploading YouTube videos, it was more to put pressure on myself to try new things that made me feel uncomfortable because, believe it or not, I was very uncomfortable even posting something online. So a lot of my early YouTube projects were really about personal development and not really about exposure. Having human connection and having a bunch of people sitting around and celebrating really only made that moment more important to me. And I will definitely look back on this really fondly.